Focus. Hey everybody, it's Maya back again with another video. Today I am bringing you an August TBR, but it's a little bit different because it's also a bit of a challenge for myself. So just a brief summary about where I am in life. In the middle of August, I will be returning to school, and the school that I'm going to is not in the current state that I'm living in, so obviously I have to move, and because of that I think that my reading schedule or like my library visit schedule is going to be a little off because there's going to be a chunk of time where I'm just going to be focused on moving and finding my bearings and starting this next little adventure that I have going on. So the first 2 weeks of August I'm going to be focusing on reading these books, and so that's where this little challenge thing comes in. There have been quite a few contemporary books that I wanted to read, and so because of that I am giving myself the challenge of reading a contemporary a day or something like it. It's also a bit of a race against the clock because all of these books are from the library, so it's like a library haul too. There's just a lot of stuff happening right now, but I'm just gonna show you what I have before this video gets even more complicated. So the first book that is on my pile is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. As far as I know, this book is about Stargirl. She is the new student at school, and she's very different in a, well, it appears to be in a good way in the beginning, but as she's going along her high school experience, people are starting to mock her for her differences, and so she has to figure out, you know, whether or not she's going to continue being Stargirl or if she's going to be normal in order to fit in and make life easier for herself. It's a short book. Again, that doesn't really mean anything because sometimes I will take a long time to read a short book and a short time to read a long book, so we'll just see how that goes. But anyways, that is Stargirl. The next book in my TBR / contemporary day challenge is The Perks of Being a Wildflower. It's one of those great coming of age stories about a young man, and throughout the book he's actually writing letters, and I don't think you end up hearing who the recipient of the letters actually is, but through the letters you're just getting this glimpse of who he is, where he is, and how, you know, he's navigating this thing called life. I've been wanting to see the movie, but I told myself that I would need to read the book first before the movie, so here's the book. Another shorty, so we'll see how that goes. Moving right along is Signs Point to Yes by Sandy Hall. We're following Jane, and as Jane is going along, she's actually babysitting for, I think it's her next door neighbor or somebody nearby, and she actually finds that she is developing feelings for the person that she's babysitting, the brother, but it's kind of like, oh no, he's out of my league kind of thing, and who doesn't love a cheesy out of my league sort of story? And I think there's also something in here about finding parents. Like, I believe she is actually trying to find her dad as this book goes along, so I'm excited for this. The next book is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. I also have I'll Give You the Sun, but when I found out that she wrote a book prior to this, I thought I would try to read this one first. From what I know, this is following a young lady by the name of Lenny, and she actually unfortunately loses her sister, and so as she is grieving through all of this, she is getting closer to her sister's boyfriend, and I think there's this other young man that appears in the picture as well. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I'm just interested in seeing how this would end up because of the whole like potentially dating your dead sister's ex-boyfriend. I don't know. I think that's really odd. I'm interested to see how this will turn out, but I think it'll be great. Okay, next, as I mentioned, is I'll Give You the Sun, also by Jandy Nelson. This again is talking about siblings. This is actually about a pair of twins, and this book From what I've heard, it tells the story from two different perspectives. So I think the first half is told by one of the twins and the second half is told by the other twin. At the beginning, I believe that the pair of twins are actually really close and they confide in each other about everything, but there's something that happens that causes them to drift apart. And so I'm interested in hearing or reading about what that thing is and just seeing how the characters are going to develop. Okay, so I actually made my way to the children's section of the library because I was looking for The Little Prince, which I read.
Coming to a monthly wrap-up near you.
And as I was going through that section, I actually found a couple of books that looked really, really interesting. Partially because of the covers, but you know, I'm a visual person, so if I see something that I think is aesthetically pleasing, I'm going to go toward it. And that was the case with Wildwood. And this is written by Colin Malloy with illustrations by Carson Ellis. As it turns out, they're a couple. I just think it's really cool and couples can work together, and I don't know, hashtag goals. But anyways, Wildwood, this cover, I think it's this is just so pretty. Anyways, this book follows the main character, Prue. Prue has a lovely mother and father, and she also has a younger brother. But one day, as she is looking after her younger brother, she sees that he gets taken away by a murder of crows, and so obviously she has to find out where they're taking her brother and how she can get him back. I'm really pumped. Like, I think I would probably buy this book just to have this in my possession. I also picked up Another Kind of Hurricane by Tamara Ellis Smith. This story follows two young boys. One, his name is Henry. He actually lives in Vermont, and unfortunately he loses his best friend. And the second character that we are focusing on is Xavion, and he and his father are actually fleeing from where they live due to the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. So this is like some crazy real life stuff that I am very interested in. We're just hearing about how they meet and how they relate to each other, and I'm really excited about this. The last book that I picked up in the children middle grade, whatever you want to call it, section is The Riverman by Erin Starmer. And this book is about two characters, Alistair and Fiona. So Alistair is somebody that is well known around town, people like him, but Fiona seems to be quite odd, and so Fiona actually goes to Alistair and asks him to write her biography, and she explains that she's visited a parallel universe and there's this creature called the Riverman who is actually sucking the souls from the children in that universe, and so she fears that she is next, and so she wants somebody to tell her story. So that is the last middle grade book, I guess you could say, and that was The Riverman. Returning to young adult fiction, I also have The Beginning of Everything, and this is by Robin Schneider. This is about a young man named Ezra with a very promising future, but unfortunately he has a terrible accident that impacts everything he believed is true of himself, and all the while he is meeting and potentially maybe developing feelings for the new girl whose name is Cassidy. I am interested in seeing how this one goes. So yeah, that is The Beginning of Everything. Last but not least is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. For some reason I always want to say To All the Boys I've Ever Loved. I have a problem where I make up titles to books, like I make up my own titles, but anyways, the actual title is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and this is by Jenny Han. This is about a young lady, I think her name is Laura Jean, and she writes letters to the young men that she has loved previously. However, she never sends the letters, she just keeps them, and then one day someone, who knows who, they actually mailed the letters that she wrote, and the letters, they go to their respective hypothetical recipient, and they are now speaking to Laura and confronting her, but in a good way, and so she has to navigate through all of that. That is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I think I got that right. So those are the books that are in my unique August TBR slash library haul slash contemporary a day. If you, for some reason, are watching this and you want to be a part of this challenge, feel free to let me know if you have some books that you would just like to read within the first, 11 or 12 days in August. By all means, let me know. We'll be in it together. Alrighty, so that is all that I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. I was actually going through comments that I've received, and I'm not a big YouTuber at all, but just seeing that people take the time out of their day to watch and like and subscribe and comment, it just, yeah, you just feel it. You just get kind of tingly and warm inside. But anyways, thanks again for watching, and I hope whoever you are watching this right now, you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Anyways, let's try this again, shall we?